I am an EAP counselor with Ascension's Wisconsin EAP. I'm actually located full-time in the Oshkosh office where I provide counseling in person and virtually. We use Zoom for our virtual appointments. And one of the benefits to you having our EAP benefit is these presentations. We have lunch and learns every other month, and you can always check out our website. We've got lots of resources on the website, as well as our YouTube channel. And all of our previously recorded R&R sessions go into a playlist that's on our YouTube channel, and we have about 4 years worth now. So you are welcome to check those out. This video will likely be loaded either by the end of the week or early next week if you want to check it out. But you don't have to wait just once a month for these. You could, bring this into your regular weekly practice if you want using the former recordings. And then the other part about having the EAP benefit is the free counseling for you and any direct family member under your roof. And so any way that we can support you all in your mental wellness and honestly, our performance, both in our work and our home lives, right? How well we're functioning is part of our wellness. And because we're in the uh, April doldrums, right? March and April to me just always feel like one big month. And I struggle. Spring has always arrived at earlier at other places I've lived, even growing up in New England. So I did start my seeds this past weekend. So they're in the basement, starting to sprout. But these are times when I really have to dig deep for my own mental wellness. And one of the ways we dig deep is with mindfulness. And counterintuitive when we're like, oh, this moment is just drudgery. It's so gray and rainy out, cold, wet, right? Um, but it's counterintuitive because mindfulness is actually coming into the radical moment. So today's presentation really focuses on Thich Nhat Hanh's work. And if any of you have heard of him, he was a Buddhist monk who fled Vietnam and lived most of his life in France, in Plum Village. And he wrote exquisite book, The Miracle of Mindfulness. And I believe it was written in the 70s. So as old as I am, coming up on 50 years likely. And the way he describes it's this little book, and it's just you take one page at a time at a day or whenever you need it, and just brings you into the radical moment. And so, one of his famous quotes, he has many books, but one of his famous quotes from mindfulness, because one is about, like listening as you walk and listening to the leaves or listening to your footprints. And another mindfulness practice he has is, walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet, which, especially when I'm in the garden barefoot, is a lovely um, place to put myself, right? And right now, thinking of in a month or so, my feet will be kissing the earth. And this brings us to another part of mindfulness when we're focusing on nature or food. It's this idea of interconnectedness. And in yoga, I'm a yoga teacher. I teach here in Oshkosh, been practicing for over 25 years. And there's a word that we use in yoga called tantra. Now, Sting made tantra something, something else really exciting, kind of like eat, pray, love. But tantra at its basics, it's just talking about how we are all interconnected, right? So mindfulness brings us into our body and feeling this interconnection between the head, the brain, the rest of our body, which I say creates the whole mind, right? So that connectedness, integrating our entire self, but also integrating ourselves within, this universe. When you think about how many organisms inhabit this earth, right? Easily trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions. I mean, we have over 30 trillion cells just in our body alone. So when you think of each organism being like a cell of the universe, okay, um, we affect each other. And part of mindfulness, when we're walking, when we're eating, when we're resting, is realizing the interconnectedness around us. Like if you were to look at your computer in front of you or your phone, whatever device you're using, and to think about who conceptualized this, who designed it, who manufactured it, who made the screen, who made the case, who made, right? When you look at the floor, right? And I live in an older home, so I still have my original wood floors. It's thinking about the trees that made the wood flooring and the people who cut the tree down and created the planks and installed the floor, right? The person who designed and created, delivered, stocked the desk chair I'm sitting in. There's lots of ways that when we really ground down into mindfulness, it brings us into a deeper connection with everybody and realizing too how our actions affect others. And that's important, especially April being the month where we celebrate Earth Day and Arbor Day. Um, we each play a role. Every tree plays a role in our life. So we want to be dwelling in the present moment, because really this is the only moment that truly exists. And when we come into that moment, there's some magic that happens within our nervous system. It just loves it. Our nervous system does not like being scattered. It does not do well multitasking. It loves when we have this brain body, right, connection. And in positive psychology, they call this flow because typically what happens, time disappears, right? Like when we come into mindfulness, we can almost create time by coming into the moment and by slowing down. So I invite you into that mindset today. And so what we're going to do is we're going to settle into our seats and feel free to close your eyes here. We're going to move into the start of our grounding and deep breathing. So we ground initially by bringing your feet down to the earth. So if they're crossed, bring both down and feel the steadiness under your feet. Okay, I'm going to readjust because actually I have a area rug and my heels are on the rug and my toes are on the wood floor, so they're slanted. So I'm just going to scoot back so that my feet are level, and I encourage you to do the same. Let the knees be hip width. Okay, so again, I'm going to readjust my chair, and this is an important part of yoga. You're always readjusting because the feet of my chair are getting in the way of my actual feet. So once you feel like you've got steadiness in your posture, bring awareness to the entire sole of each foot. Notice the differences, right? The outer edges are going to feel a little bit more pressure. Maybe the balls of the feet will. Observe the toes, not visually, but intuitively. And again, this is sometimes where closing your eyes can be helpful. And notice what the toes are doing. Typically, they're light, right? They're a little bit wonky and playful. You can even move the toes, wiggle them around. And notice if you're wiggling your toes, what the inner arch has to do. And feel the lift of the inner arch, and you're going to notice a foot that has maybe a higher arch than the other, maybe. Okay. And then we're going to bring awareness to our ankles, the inner ankles, and then up to the knees. Release the lower legs, release the feet, release the toes. Let them be soft and effortless. They might even feel heavy, and that's okay. Settle the thighs into your chair. The hamstrings rest, the glutes release, as well as the hips. And bring awareness into the hips and the pelvic bowl. And as you bring awareness to the pelvic bowl and those lower abdominals, you're going to have more awareness of the breath. The breath as it uh, emerges at the belly, floating out, expanding with the in-breath, and subsiding back towards the side, towards the spine on your out-breath. Notice too how the breath fills the pelvic bowl. On the inhale and exhale, you might even feel some movement in the lower back, maybe even down around the tailbone. Now, clearly, this isn't the lungs descending all the way down. It's the movement of the diaphragm that's this hammock of a muscle at the base of the ribs. It breathes the lungs, but as it descends down into your belly to create room for the lungs, it pushes the organs out. And so that's what creates this movement. Mindfulness. So imagine anatomically what's going on within your belly and navel center. As we bring continued awareness to the belly with the breath, we move up the spine, and you might think of hugging the front bottom ribs into the chair, the back of the chair, and then maybe lengthening through the spine as if you're lengthening the ribs up, but you're dropping the shoulders. And notice how this might affect the back of the neck, the throat area. Feel long. You can tuck the chin as if you're resting on a headrest if you don't have one, and then lengthen through the crown of the head. And if you haven't already, go ahead. I invite you to close your eyes and imagine this energy of the breath traveling from the pelvic bowl, the base of the spine, all the way up the spine to the crown of the head. And at the end of your inhale, with the exhale, start to release the breath, release this energy down the spine as you hug the navel center in. And we're going to do a few breath cycles here. And I'm going to repeat one of Thich Nhat Hanh's mantra meditations. So breathing in, I calm my body and mind. Breathing out, I smile, dwelling in the present moment. I know this only moment. Breathing in, I calm my body and mind. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. Breathing out, I know this is the only moment. One more breath cycle. Breathing in, I calm my body and mind. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. Breathing out, I know this is the only moment. Beautiful. So staying here with eyes closed, stay in this moment, focusing, observing the breath, the rise and fall of your belly, the expansion of the side ribs, the touch of the breath at the tip of your nostrils as the breath comes in, and the touch of the breath at the tip of the nostrils as the breath comes out. Notice the qualities of the air as it comes in through the nostrils with the in-breath, and the qualities of the air as it leaves your nostrils One more time. Inhaling deeply, exhaling out long and steady. Perfect. Good. So we're going to start to wiggle our fingers and toes. Maybe warm your palms together and bring your palms over your eyes. Open your eyes to your palms, spread the fingers to let the light in, and then bring your hands down to your lap. We're going to move into some of our chair yoga exercises now. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that I show up a little bit bigger for you all. And something that just came to mind, I was flying home from Mexico a week ago, right now, and I had a lovely experience of doing yoga on the beach and under this gorgeous tree with orange blossoms and the gentleman teaching the class. It was just, speaking Spanish, right? So inhalo, exhalo, inhalo, exhalo. Oh my gosh, it was just took me in another place. So I might weave that in as we do our chair yoga. So, right, mindfulness. I'm going to bring us really into the body. So some of these are going to be micro movements, and we're going to start with our eyes. So in a place of vulnerability, I'm going to demonstrate knowing this is being recorded. But what we're going to do is inhale, look up, exhale, look down. Inhale, come to center, bring the eyes to center and close them. Really squeeze them tight. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then inhale, open them really, really wide. Good. Look to the left on your next inhale. Come to center. And then on the next breath movement, maybe exhale to the right, looking out the corners of the eyes. Inhale, come back to center. Okay, now pick up your left hand, and we're going to use our right hand, maybe our pointer finger. We're going to do some breath work, tracing our hand. So I start at the base of my pinky, and I'm just going to rest it down in my lap, and I'm going to use my hand. So when I inhale, I'm going to trace up to the tip of my finger. Exhale, I'm going to come down. Inhale, I'm going to come up to the next finger. So I want you to move with the rhythm of your own breath, and you can let that hand rest on your thigh. Inhaling to the tip, exhaling down into the valley, inhaling up and down. When you come to the base of the thumb, reverse directions. So now we trace the thumb again. So move intuitively with your breath. The inhale, the exhale, tracing your finger. This forces us to be a little bit more patient. Following the rhythm of our breath helps us to not rush it, right? Helps us to just really sink into this radical moment. So when you come to the base of your pinky, you can switch hands using the left pointer finger to trace, and you might start at the base of your thumb here. Inhaling to the top, exhaling down. Come into this moment. That's all that exists right now. Nothing else is expected of you. Notice the details of your fingers, maybe. I have mine a little bit farther away, so I don't notice my cuticles and everything. Good. And then reverse when you come to the base of the pinky. Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself this space. You deserve it. Okay? Sometimes we feel like, oh, this is a luxury. I really shouldn't be spending my time this way. No, this is necessary. It's hygiene for your nervous system. We spend time hygiene for our skin and our mouth, our teeth, our, dental. oral hygiene, this is all necessary. Good. Coming back to center, let's lift the toes. Reach them up as high as you can. And then exhale, squeeze them tight, really ball them up. And now we're going to inhale and expand them out. Let them be an expression of your ribs and your abdominals, right? With the breath. And exhale. Yeah, good. Now let's bring our hands into it. When we fan out the toes, let's fan out our fingers. And then exhale, curl the fists, curl the toes. And once more. Yeah, spread them out. Get all that angstiness out, out, out. And then ball them up. Again, just get it out. Yeah, this burns the cortisol, that stress hormone that gets released with our stress responses. So it's a nice way to rinse. You could do progressive muscle relaxation, and that is going through the different muscle groups. Okay, and you can microdose progressive muscle relaxation. We did that in one of our R&Rs several months ago. Let's come into our cat cow. So in cat cow, I'm going to back up. In cow, we bring the shoulder blades back together. We poof our chest, bring our heart center forward, and our tailbone tilts back. You can even lift your chin, and you're doing this on the inhale. And then when you feel the cue of your exhale, you arch the spine. You do the opposite. The shoulders come in towards each other. We tuck the chin, we tuck the tailbone. And then we inhale, we poof the chest, we expand. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale out through the nose, tucking, rolling. One more time, inhaling through the nose. And this time, when we come into cat, we're going to exhale out through the mouth. Ah. Oh, that felt good. Let's do it again. Inhale, come into your cow. Exhale, sighing out through the mouth. Ah. Oh, I needed that. All right. Let's bring the hands to the shoulders. Do some shoulder circles. And this, okay, so this is what Cesar. Okay, so in, hello. And then reverse, exhale. I could do this all day long. In, hello. Exhale. Lovely. Coming back to center now, lift the elbows up. Feel the lift through the side body and notice what the sits bones need to do here. Root them down, keep the tailbone long as like it's aligned with the spine. Okay. Exhale, squeeze them in. Squeeze between the shoulder blades. Lift again, inhaling up. Good. Exhaling down. We're going to extend the arms in a T position. Press the palms forward and press the backs of the hands back down. Okay, now reverse. The thumbs come down. Press the palms to the back of the wall. Yeah. Now we're going to make a W, and we're going to squeeze in. Good. And then we're going to do a Y shape. And again, press the backs of the hands to the wall behind you. And then twist, press the palms. See if you can press the palms back. And drop the right hand onto your side rest or your thigh, side bend over through your left side. So from that left hips all the way up through the armpit. And try to keep the arm next to your ear. Okay. If you've got lower back issues, you can always tilt forward like that. Breathe. Bring space between the ribs. Good. Release the left hand and arm down to the leg. And we're going to come back into that Y. Reach. You might even do a little back bend here. And then the left arm drops and the right arm reaches over. Root. Press that right sits bone and hip down into your chair as you lengthen through the arm and you breathe. Maybe close your eyes here. Another beautiful thing to do is to bring your opposite hand onto the base of your ribs and let that elbow right be there on the belly. You realize how powerful the diaphragm and the breath are. Good. Let's cross both hands across the ribs. So doing this kind of a position at the base and inhale, feel the breath here. Exhaling out. Good. Now pick up the right knee, hug it in, Maybe rotate the ankle, reverse direction. And if it's available to you, cross it over the left leg. So we call this eagle legs in yoga. And if it's available, grasp around the knees. It's not going to feel very natural. It's going to be pretty awkward. I just want you to squeeze the belly into that right thigh. Good. Release it. Bring that right knee back in if that's available to you, or as far as you can get it. You might hold under the thigh as well. And release the right foot down. And now we're going to bring that left knee up into the body, either holding at the shin or the back of the leg. If it's available, cross it over. You can always cross at the shins. And we're going to lean forward, bringing some pressure to the belly here, and then trying to hug around the knees. Great. And release. I apologize for those of you who just ate and have full bellies. That's not always comfortable. So with both hands on our thighs, we're going to forward fold with the knees bent, but we're going to let our hands caress the legs, moving down. You can create some pressure here, okay, using the heel of the hands as you slide down the thighs with your exhale, and then continue down the shins as far as you can go, maybe down to the floor. And then when you're ready to inhale, glide the hands back up the legs, back up. Good. Reach up through the crown of the head. One more time. Exhale, slide the hands down, fold over those thighs. And then when you're ready to inhale, you lift up. Good. And maybe let's come down one more time and stay here for a few breaths. Just let yourself hang. The crown of the head just drips. And maybe any remaining residual tension in the shoulders, the neck, just let it drip right off you into the floor, maybe. And then slowly start to roll back up. Keeping your eyes closed is always a nice thing to do. And then you can just sit back and come into your seated Shavasana. Shavasana is Sanskrit for corpse pose. It's the final pose we always do in yoga, but it's complete relaxation where your arms just kind of rest, your legs are wide, the feet splay open. I mean, the worst posture ever, right? So just slump in your chair. If you've got a bit of a headrest, you can always lean the head back, or bring the chin towards the sternum so that the neck has time to rest. And take a moment here, focusing on the breath. And I'm going to read you a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. All the wonders of life are already here. They're calling you if you can listen to them. You will be able to stop running. What you need, what we all need, is silence. Stop the noise in your mind in order for the wondrous sounds of life to be heard. I'm going to say that again. Stop the noise in your mind in order for the wondrous sounds of life to be heard. Then you can begin to live your life authentically and deeply. So mindfulness is that invitation. It's that vehicle towards silencing the mind. And in that, we become more alive, more alert, more productive. We become more aware of ourselves, each other, and our surroundings. And that is the key for our mental wellness. Okay. So you're welcome to contact us anytime you need support or resources or questions. We try to make ourselves as available as possible. So email and calling, probably the best ways. And here's our contact info. Like I said, we've got our YouTube channel, so I'd encourage you to check out the previously recorded R&Rs. And if you all are collecting wellness points through your HR, the keyword is interconnection. So I'm so grateful for you all joining today. This is a great group and community. And join us next time, May 7th. I made sure to write it down because I can never remember the date. So May 7th, noon, we use the same Zoom link. So make this a recurring schedule in your calendar, and we'll see you next month. All right. I'm going to
Thank you,
sign.
Shelly.
You're very welcome.